We have forward motion on the Farm Bill this week, plus how the Army Corps of Engineers plans to reduce its project backlog, and a lot more on this episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
If you're listening, happy Thursday.
Thank
if
you
you're
for
watching,
listening.
I also don't know what he's laughing at, but it scares me pretty good.
I'm not quite sure what I was laughing at either. So.
Usually, if you start laughing, that means I goofed and messed something up in the intro.
It's like trying to be quiet in church. Sometimes it's just funny,
I swear, it could be somebody, unwrapping a peppermint, and if you get the giggles in church about it, there's no way you can stop it from happening.
Yeah. 100%.
It is. It's a thing. That's for sure. I don't understand that phenomenon, but
yeah. Well, what's up? How's your week been?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that before we came on. It's been very busy this week. Just a lot going on.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. How about you?
Busy. We went to St. Louis, our department for our Southern Region Commodity Departments of Arkansas Farm Bureau's annual conference. Mm-hmm. And it's long title, but the short is our cohorts are same ag economists within Farm Bureau, but in different states in the southeast region of the country, all meet once a year in a different state in that region. Yeah. So this year it was in Missouri. Missouri chose St. Louis. So we got to hear a lot about what they're doing in St. Louis within Farm Bureau, what their ag school's doing, what their Department of Ag's doing. We also got to tour Bayer.
Oh yeah,
their headquarters, and that was really cool. Got to talk about like gene editing and breeding, and I really nerded out.
Yeah,
I was kind of a kid.
I was gonna ask. Was there a giveaway? Like, did y'all get something like a hat or something? Not from Bayer, but from Missouri Farm
So
Bureau.
every year when we go to the conference, that state will have like a gift basket. We've gotten some like ice chests and stuff before, but this year I wasn't initially excited about it, but I have used it every day.
I know what it is
since I got it.
I know what it is because it's a group of ag economists.
Well, guess what is it?
Pocket protectors.
Took me for a ride with that one.
You walked right in. You stepped right in that one. I'm sorry.
No way you're gonna get this. So
am I wrong?
The answer to that question is yes, you are wrong.
Okay, all right. Gosh, I thought I nailed it.
Yeah, so close. Wah, wah, wah. But anyways, no, it was an AirPod, a phone, and an Apple Watch charger, all into one that folds up like a. Deal.
Wait a minute.
And I've used it every single day.
I thought that you were saying, we got AirPods, we got a phone, I was like, my goodness, what is with the Apple connection up there?
No. It's a charger, and it's all built in one.
I saw one of those the other day at one of these, I don't know, stores that my wife likes to go to. I won't use the names of them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And it looked like it was like a little round piece, and this thing just folded out into like 3 wireless charger kind of thing. I would assume that's what that
same
is.
Thing.
I could use one of those. Where'd you put it?
Well, you know what? You'll probably never see it. It'll never be within arm's reach of you, one Jason Brown.
Well, that's understandable because
if you treat people a little bit better, they may be willing to allow you to borrow it.
He's getting a little snarky since he came back from up north.
He's crossed the Mason
people are just
Dixon.
too nice up there. I'm glad to be back. But we got to go to Bayer, and then we also got to see Perina's research farm.
Oh, wow.
That was a lot more interactive than Bayer, but man, they got everything from an equine division to backyard poultry to beef cattle to dairy cattle. Their dairy operation was really impressive. What else? They have a deer.
Really?
They're trying to research the right feed for deer. I guess growing antlers, and they had massive sheds, buck sheds, and deer mounts and stuff in there. What else they have? I don't know. We were moving around constantly.
Yeah, I bet.
Or we were sitting in presentations. So
you talk about dairy farm or their dairy operation. I've never been on a dairy farm.
That was the closest.
And I want to.
I guess technically it is a dairy farm because they do sell that milk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
but all of it's all research, trying to find out what the best combination of ingredients and feed for livestock is. For whatever reason you want the outcome of that particular product to be.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting how in depth they go, and it made me think, how much money is this company making that they have such this giant R&D budget? Like I couldn't fathom it.
Yeah.
And how expansive that farm was. I mean, it's almost 2,000 acres.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And different segments and all the PhDs. I think they had over 100 PhDs working there. So I don't know. It was. I'm getting nerdy again.
Yeah.
But
but they do everything from your home pet dogs and cats all the way.
So I did learn.
Okay.
Purina sold out and split. I wouldn't say sold out. They split between Land O'Lakes and Nestle. And Nestle took the pet side of everything. And they're literally just across the street.
Really?
It was one giant piece of property with a road going through it, but Nestle got the pet half and they got the livestock half.
Oh, okay. So where you went is strictly focused on production.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
They even had rabbits, but they didn't have rabbits that day. But they do research on rabbit feed, and they had swine or hogs too, but we didn't get to see that area.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Interesting.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good trip.
Did they do poultry?
Yeah, but they on site was backyard poultry. They even had hen houses and replicate what that backyard area would be. She was like, "Well, the reason we do this is because we want the chicken to feel like it's going to be in Brian's backyard. And if he lives out in the country, a skunk's going to walk by. How will that chicken react to that environment?"
Yeah.
Or example, but all the integrator type poultry they do on site with the integrator, not on the Purina farm. Because they just don't have the infrastructure to do that. So
yeah.
But again, I'm getting real nerdy, but it was a lot of fun. Really cool to learn.
I went one time, and I'm sure y'all have been through it too, that Tyson Center, or Tyson's, I forget what they call it, the front end part of their facility up in Northwest Arkansas that you can go in and they have the test kitchens. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever been through that?
We went through it. We had the same meeting in Arkansas 2 years ago, and we got to go see that.
Well,
the front offices kind of deal.
Yeah, they do something kind of similar. So, you'll go in one kitchen and it looks like a commercial kitchen at a restaurant, but then you go in the next one and there's particle board countertops. Like what I would say a budget or maybe an apartment level kitchen, and then you go in the next one and it's another residential kitchen, but it's got marble or granite countertops and different types of stoves, and the stove in the wall or the oven in the wall versus here. So they have basically recreated every possible environment that you can cook their food in.
They do the same thing with their fast food or restaurant customers.
Oh,
at Tyson.
Yeah.
Some of those kitchens are set up like McDonald's kitchen.
Like they'll build That's where I learned that Tyson makes Chick-fil-A nuggets. Their products, and anyway,
interesting.
It's pretty cool to see.
How about that?
Yeah. And then they have a grocery store replication where because they're a house of brands, so it's not just Tyson chicken, it's Wright's bacon and all this, and they have a sort of a mock grocery store set up too, or they did the last time I was there, where it sort of shows all their products where they are in the grocery stores and stuff. It's pretty. Point being is, going on those, it's always enlightening when you get to go and visit a place or places like you.
So
you guys
somebody
do.
that's not up to date or so apt to go to any sort of livestock operation or no real experience in it. That was really cool seeing the research side of things.
Yeah.
But again, it was a private. I don't know if Purina's private or public. It's just not a university setting.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that.
Yeah, me
before.
either. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And one thing, I don't know, when we were at Bear, the guy that kind of introduced or kind of opened up the tour, I think he was in their governmental affairs department. One thing he said, they were really excited to have Farm Bureau people there to begin with. And the reason was, it's because every time he goes to lobby for something for Bear, he's talking to senators, congressmen, he made one point is that they all, he may be saying this to make us feel good, but
where's Farm Bureau at on this?
yeah, exactly. He said every time it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
Always asking what Farm Bureau's thoughts are on this. And so that goes out to, I guess, our membership. So you're doing good work for a good reason.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Point well made. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad y'all had a good trip. Glad you learned some things. I bet you had some good food too. But
yeah,
decent.
Sure. Yeah. The ride back. I probably should wait till we get to our crop progress report. Saw a lot of rice.
I thought you were going to say you
soybeans.
went to the home of throwed rolls.
That I should have. I don't know why I didn't. That was something I was wanting to do because
I've never done it. I've been to replicates.
Yeah.
There was a place, Jonesboro, when I was in school there called Front Page Cafe.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They threw rolls, but they were not the original, the OG, as the kids
You
say.
need to do it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We went up there for a Cardinals game when I was a kid, and we stopped there on the way there and on the way back.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Ooh,
chicken and
very
dumplings. You got to get them.
you know, y'all must have been high end because I remember on road trips.
We took a
was
minivan
just
up
thinking
there,
about this
buddy.
the other day. I mean, I can name multiple road trips as a kid where our stop was at a rest area. Hey, and the cooler came out of the trunk, and you started making sandwiches right there on a picnic
Yeah, a
table.
little potted meat and cheese.
Yeah,
sandwich.
you know, whatever it is, Grandpa Story Hour. I'm just saying, there was no McDonald's drive-through 4 times on your road trip or whatever back then. I mean, we made the sandwiches ourselves.
My grandmother would always make us sandwiches because my grandparents live in Oklahoma or did when they were alive. And on the way back, she would make us sandwiches for the ride home.
Yeah.
And that's something I always remembered.
I love Andy Griffith. I've talked about that several times on here, but anytime Andy and Barney or Andy and Opie or anybody's traveling, she's making them a sack of sandwiches to take with them. You know, just not refrigerated, I guess, but you know, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, you get hungry enough, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, cool. That sounds good. A couple of other things before we get into the news here. It's Farmers Market Month.
Yeah.
So I will tell on myself, I've not been to a farmers market yet this year, and I need to fix that.
That's terrible. That's awful.
I need to fix that.
Because, it's also Blackberry Month.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I think while we were gone, the governor declared a Blackberry Week or month with the Blackberry Growers Association on the 12th during their that'd been yesterday, right?
Meeting. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, they had a meeting and a field day. I wasn't able to attend. And then speaking of farmers market, if you all remember that last year at our trade show, we had our first farmers market in our trade show.
Probably like the most popular thing from convention.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm serious.
But the application for this coming year's trade show, farmers market, open Monday.
Okay.
And it'll be open all the way through probably into July, middle August.
Yeah.
I haven't quite made that decision yet on when I'm going to close it, or when we are going to close it. Excuse me.
I felt a little
that discredits the people I'm working with.
heavy-handed.
I apologize. I misspoke. But yeah, so please, you can find that post on our social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you have any questions about it or don't understand quite what it means, you know, we have a limited amount of space. It's sponsored by the Arkansas Grown and Made Department of the Ag Department. So the booth spaces are free to the people who are awarded those spots. So we only have 40 spots this year, which is 10 more than last year.
That's more than last year, yeah.
Yeah, but we also had almost 80 or 90 people, almost 100 people apply last year. So when you sign up, you're not guaranteed a spot. It's an application to be judged, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Selected.
Selected. Yeah, selected for a spot. So yeah, add as much information as you possibly can, and any pictures or any website or Facebook link to your products. That's the best advice I can give to anyone wanting to apply.
And I can imagine if you were there last year, a little bit of a leg up. So it's going to be some stiff competition.
Yeah, there was some money spent there. I can guarantee you that.
Buddy, you better believe it. All right. A couple of other things. The District Farm Families of the Year is being released. That list is being released, I believe, as we talk here.
Oh, wow.
So maybe by the time you're listening, that will have been have come across your news feed. So be on the lookout for that. We talked about the county winners a few weeks ago. And then just real quick, I'm not going to go into all the detail even that we've written here, just in the interest of time. Crop progress continues. I'd say corn and rice are done, rice almost done, and staying on pace or maybe a little bit ahead of where we're supposed to be. Soybeans is just shy of being done. Probably without the rain, we would have been done. Mm-hmm. I was driving to work this morning on I-40. I passed a flatbed truck that had 8 super bags of soybean seeds on it. So somebody's still planting out there.
Yeah.
But about 7% shy being done there. Cotton is about 3% shy being done. And then peanuts almost done too. So I'd say within the next week, especially as dry as it's been this week, depending on if that tropical depression makes in the Gulf over the weekend, maybe dry next week too. Quality wise, corn, soybeans, and rice are all, and cotton is all 70+% in the good to excellent column. We saw some improvement over last week with the severe weather that we've seen. But we saw some downgrade too there. Vegetable quality is still hanging around that 50-50 mark there on good to excellent to fair, I would say. That's kind of the state of row crop and vegetables.
If I was to tell you that there's some corn in the state of Arkansas that is tasseled, would you believe me?
No.
You wouldn't? Well, you better.
Where was it?
Up around like Pocahontas.
Well, that's what's even crazier is I know what your route was from St. Louis to Little Rock, and you were coming through DeShay County.
Right there in between northeast and north central, I guess, Arkansas.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah. I stared at it the whole way I drove by it, which wasn't very long.
But a little while.
Yeah,
a couple seconds.
And then I thought about it for a long time after that.
All right, how about we get into the news?
Sure. Why not?
Then I thought about it for a long time.
Yeah. All right. Well, as Jason said in our intro, we've got some Farm Bill news. And no, Farm Bill hasn't passed yet. But we're moving in the right direction.
That's it.
So just this past Tuesday, U.S. Senator John Boozman of Arkansas, ranking member of the U.S. Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, released the Senate Republican drafted framework for a new farm bill in which he says answers the call for a farmer-focused farm bill. The senator was quoted saying, this is a long quote, so hang on with me. And I only took half of it. So, yeah. From the onset of this process, we have sought to draft a farm bill that reflects the needs of stakeholders. Well, the world has changed dramatically since the 2018 bill became law, and the unprecedented challenges and economic uncertainty that farmers face now are only projected to get worse in the coming years. This is why producers have been calling on senators to put more farm in the farm bill. You'll probably hear that a lot with this version of the farm bill. I think that rings pretty well. But moving on, continuing with the quote, our framework released today meets the call by modernizing the farm safety net, facilitating the expansion of access to overseas markets, fostering breakthroughs in agricultural research, and growing the real communities our farmers, ranchers, and foresters call home, all while making a historic investment in conservation and protecting nutrition programs that help Americans in need. So, as Senator Boozman mentioned there in his statement, there are several highlights or key points to this framework of his farm bill proposition, if you want to call it that. And I've got them listed here. So hang on with me just a little bit, and we can get through it together.
Let's do it.
Okay. First point being to modernize the farm safety net so that producers have the risk management tools that fit the current and future economic challenges they face. That includes an average 15% increase to reference prices, removing crop insurance coverage or improving, not removing.
I was going to say.
Improving crop insurance coverage and affordability and maintaining access to Title I programs. Secondly, restore the U.S. as the leader in agricultural export markets by doubling funding for trade programs such as the Market Access Program, also known as MAP, and the Foreign Market Development Program. Thirdly, focusing on rural communities by investing in small business development, broadband expansion, and water and energy infrastructure programs, while also providing dedicated funding to increase access to healthcare, childcare, and public safety so that rural communities can attract and retain talent. Doubling Farm Bill, this is the fourth one, doubling Farm Bill research funding allows the U.S. to be the leader in innovation while allowing farmers to produce greater volume in a more cost-efficient, environmentally friendly way. If you remember, there's been some complaints over the last few years that our funding for research, crop or agricultural research in general has been down. So
lagging behind.
Exactly, as well as other countries increasing theirs.
Right.
Moving on, expanding conservation programs and ensuring farmers achieve stewardship goals while addressing their unique needs. This will amount to more than a 25% increase every single year in funding moving forward, which is pretty cool. Our last two here, ensure there are no benefit cuts or elimination of inflation adjustments to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or also known as SNAP. So the program continues to deliver relief to those in need. That was a big concern that I think the Republicans were trying to cut some funding from SNAP and move money in different directions. This one is not going to cut anything or plan not to cut anything, but also make sure as years going forward that it will adjust for inflation.
Oh, yeah.
And lastly, increasing the affordability of crop insurance for beginning farmers and ranchers and offer beginning farmers without or with minimal base acres a path to participate in safety net programs. This will help make agriculture an attractive career for the next generation. I thought that last one was pretty cool too, because every year it's harder and harder to get into farming.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I should say it's also harder and harder every year to stay in it.
Stay in, yeah.
So that's what I got here on the Farm Bill. That was more or less highlights from their news release, his office's news release.
Yep. And I don't know, I'll just throw this out there. We had a reaction and a statement from Dan Wright, president here at Arkansas Farm Bureau yesterday. In the interest of time, I won't read that, but I know we've got it on our Facebook page, Twitter, all the social channels. It's out there and easy to find. And if you can't see it, if you don't have access to that stuff and you want to read it, shoot us a note, and we will certainly make sure you can see that. But
Brandy Carroll in our department is putting out, if you want to call it one of our Ag Insiders, or it may just be a division update. You think I'd have an idea of what it actually is, but it's going to be a similar announcement, kind of what's in it and what does it mean, maybe regarding a little bit of our policy too. I'm not real sure.
Yeah,
how it's related.
And we'll have something in the Farm Bureau press tomorrow as well from Brandy, actually, that I looked at just before I came down here. So anyway, all the Farm Bill framework from the Senate Ag GOP that you need. And right now, I'll say this. Right now, I'll say the cards are on the table.
Yeah.
For the most part. So you've got the House Ag Committee has passed a Farm Bill through out of committee on bipartisan support.
Has not hit the floor yet, though.
It has not hit the floor and will not for a little while. You've got the Senate Ag Committee Chairwoman, Debbie Stabenow, Senator Stabenow, on the Democratic side. She's released her sort of framework and language, and now the ranking member of the Senate Ag Committee, Senator John Boozman, has released his. So those are the three, I'll say, parties really invested in this. So so now is where the poker comes into play.
Yeah, it's I think Boozman kind of came out today or yesterday and said we either have to start negotiations now or start planning for a extension.
Extension, yeah.
But I don't know. I hope the first one happens.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think we're all hopeful here that we see a new farm bill.
But you also want the right farm bill, and I think there's a little bit of difference in the House Ag committees, Senator Stabenow's and Boozman's.
Yeah,
if I had to guess. So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, here's a little preview. We'll have the chance to ask him.
Yeah,
because on Tuesday we are going to be recording a deep dive episode of the Arkansas AgCast with Senator Boozman.
There you go.
Some little bit of breaking news there.
It's not a rumor anymore.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about this framework exactly, his thoughts, including that of a passing a farm bill and or an extension to the current. So we'll pile those questions up and get ready for them on Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, my first story of the day comes from the previous AgCast guest and journalist, ag journalist for Delta Farm Press, Whitney Haywood. It's a bit of news about groundwater tax credits for farmers. I thought this was interesting when I read it. A little bit of a surprise, honestly, to see how little it's being taken advantage of. So we wanted to bring it to the show today. Did you know that farmers and other water users in Arkansas can take advantage of tax incentives when they invest in groundwater conservation projects on their acres? It's true, and Whitney's reporting provides some details on what you should know about the application process, qualifying projects, and the maximum tax credit amounts. First, a little history. The tax credit program has been available since 1995 through Act 341, which is the Water Resource Conservation and Development Incentives Act. The legislation has been amended a few times in almost 3 decades since its passing. That's important because the last set of amendments were passed in 2021. And again, that's important because those amendments increased tax credit allowances and extended the project completion time frame. Now, according to NRCS, there is about $20 million per year available in state income tax credits here, but there's only about a 20th of that that's being awarded currently.
Wow.
That means there's a lot of opportunity to get involved with these conservation projects while taking advantage of the tax credits. The application process starts by contacting your local conservation district, and the application must be approved by the county conservation district, then submitted to and approved by the Arkansas Department of Agriculture before the project starts. 3 project categories exist for tax credits, including land leveling, surface water conversion, and impoundments. Any taxpayer taking advantage of these incentives has 5 years to complete the project, and a certificate of completion is required before claiming the credits. Now, credits can be used as soon as approval is received from the department, and the project does not have to be completed before credits can be utilized. For more information, visit the Ag Department's website or reach out to your county conservation district.
Yeah, that's a huge tool to have.
Yeah. They've seriously have only given out like $1 million of this $20 million allocated.
That makes me think of home, not far from you either. As, groundwater's been an issue for a long time.
Yeah.
And NRCS also, or I don't know if it's NRCS. Don't they also give like grant money out to build some of those reservoirs too?
Oh yeah, reservoirs,
tailwater recovery systems and such.
Exactly.
And there might be money or out there too. They've got all this different technology now that you can control water with.
Yeah,
pipe planner. You name it. So in moisture meters, I don't know if there's money out there for that, but I'd imagine so. With that being such a hot topic, big issue.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. I think at O&L maybe a little bit. Make that up.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a little break here and hear about our memberships.
Your Arkansas Farm Bureau membership supports the work we do on behalf of Arkansas farmers, ranchers, and communities around the state. A $40 annual Farm Bureau membership makes a difference in your neighborhood. From youth leadership programs and academic scholarships to hunger relief and disaster support, you can make a difference and be a champion for your community. Join at arfb.com.
So, a while back, we reported on some water navigation projects, if you remember, with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So they've planned on conducting, or the plans that they've came out with back then. It looks like that work is moving forward with funding being finalized. So across the country, the Corps plans to fund 284 projects and studies, which includes $827 million for commercial navigation, $23 million for flood management, $18 million for environmental infrastructure, and $128 million for authorized project purposes.
Wow.
It should also be noted that just this year only, not within that money that I just talked about, the Corps plans to spend a record $456 million in inland waterway construction projects, while also addressing a backlog of infrastructure projects important to shipping, which we all know includes farm exports and imports.
Yes, sir.
I should also say, like, there's a lot of building materials and fuel and et cetera that comes up and down the river. The money is being pulled into 4 main infrastructure projects. 2 of those projects that are kind of close to home. I'm going to butcher the name of this
I
lock
was just
dam.
reading it.
The Chickamauga. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's exactly how
Lock on the Tennessee River and the McClellan Kerr navigation system on the Arkansas River should be funded to completion, which will allow the Corps to focus on 16 or more other major river system projects. Here we go again. The Chickamauga Lock and Dam will be capable of allowing 9 barges through the lock at one time, compared to only 1 barge currently.
Oh, wow.
I also read that lock and dam is almost 80 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I think this is kind of the theme for all this infrastructure they're about to repair or replace. And then where am I? I lost my space.
The McClellan.
Yeah. The McClellan Kerr navigation system, like I said, that's on the Arkansas River. That project is a 445-mile stretch from northeastern Oklahoma to the west, or to the point where the Arkansas River meets the Mississippi River. That area will basically be dredged to deepen that part of the river.
Oh, okay.
And then Michael Connor, Assistant Secretary of the Army of Civil Works, was quoted saying, "The fiscal year 2024 work plan for the Army Civil Works continues this administration's ongoing commitment to fund crucial infrastructure projects and build resilience in a changing climate. Its investments in our coastal ports and inland waterways will strengthen the economy and help maintain our farmers' competitive advantage in the global marketplace. These projects will be funded by the bipartisan infrastructure law.
Okay.
Without matching funds from the Inland Waterways Trust Fund. That fund, particular, which is pays for construction and major rehabilitation projects on inland waterways, normally uses a 20-cent per gallon diesel tax on shippers, but that fund is not going to be utilized for any of this project.
Oh, wow.
So we'll be able to hold on to that money. Sorry, I'm kind of stumbling over myself today.
That's all right.
Also, the Mississippi River and Tributaries Program will receive $368 million for dredging and repairs to dikes and revetments. I'm not really sure what revetments
I don't know what
are either.
revetment is either.
There are several other areas in the U.S., such as the Sioux Locks in Michigan, the Columbia River in Washington State, and Texas's Houston Ship Channel, to name a few, that will also be receiving funding for projects, but we don't necessarily have enough time here today to talk about all of them.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it's good to see some investment in our waterway infrastructure, especially given the severity of the issues we've dealt with on the Mississippi River the last few years.
Absolutely.
So a lot of money and a lot of outdated infrastructure. You know, and that's kind of been my concern with the Mississippi River is in some spots it gets really narrow or it gets really shallow. And then the Arkansas River is the same way. I mean, there's a lot of areas of that have been needed to be dredged for years.
And for a lot of people, that's how you get to the Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know, as you come through that pathway.
There's a lock and dam in between the Arkansas and the White. Right? No. Yeah.
Are you thinking about Arkansas Post?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
So you can't, barges used to go from the Arkansas into the Mississippi before they built that canal between the Arkansas and the White.
And the White, right?
Yeah. So now they use that canal because it was too expensive and too time consuming to dredge the mouth of the Arkansas into the Mississippi. So and there's a lot of stuff on that river, or all those rivers.
We have no clue how much moves up and down the river.
And this project's national.
Yeah.
So, and it's also kind of the banks of the country too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
sea to shining sea, if you will.
It's got a ring to it. Hold on.
You ever heard that before?
No, but hold on to it. All right. This week brought a new WASDE report from the USDA. Let's take a quick look at the numbers and the latest data. We'll kick it off with rice, and USDA says the outlook on for 24-25 U.S. rice this month is for slightly reduced supplies, unchanged domestic use and exports, and slightly lower ending stocks. Supplies are reduced on lower beginning stocks, with 23-24 exports raised, all long grain, by 1 million hundredweight to 95 million hundredweight, with no changes to the 24-25 domestic use and exports. All of the reduction in supplies lowers ending stocks by an equivalent amount to 44.5 million hundredweight, but that is still up 12% from last year. Moving on to cotton, the 24-25 U.S. cotton projections show higher beginning and ending stocks compared to last month. Projected production, domestic use, and exports are unchanged there. Ending stocks are 400,000 bales higher at 4.1 million, or 28% of use. And then looking at soybeans, the 24-25 outlook includes higher beginning and ending stocks. Higher beginning stocks reflect reduced crush from 23 and 24. Down 10 million bushels on lower soybean meal domestic use that is partly offset by higher exports. And then the soybean price is forecast at $11.20 per bushel, unchanged from last month. Wrapping up with the livestock and poultry here, the total U.S. red meat and poultry production forecast for 24 has been raised from last month. Beef production is virtually unchanged for the year, and pork production is raised for the second quarter. Broiler production was also raised, as was turkey production. And then egg production, however, is down, mainly due to, you guessed it, avian influenza in commercial laying flocks. So a little bit of ebb and flow there. This, as a reminder, this report comes out month over month, kind of takes a look at world stocks as well as domestic. Really all about that supply and demand.
Yeah, I've got to write a soybean division update today. So I'm glad you wrote this.
Oh, well, there you go. Borrow as much of that as you need. All right. Well, that gets us to the saddest part of the show.
Yeah, we got through our part fairly easily.
Yeah, well, that ends now.
Oh, man.
Maybe that's why we do this at the end.
Yeah, it is. Because if I did it
just
at the front, I'd cry through the news.
Bring you down a little bit.
Let's play.
You know, with the microphones and the earphones, it almost seems like he's actually, like, that's his
like
voice.
That's his real voice. I know.
And I can see it. Can you see it?
No, it fits him totally.
Well, what category shall we pick?
We just dive right in, don't we?
Why delay the inevitable?
Yeah. So. You picked first last time.
Did I?
Uh-huh.
You know what that means? You picked first this time.
And I don't want to. Entertainment.
I'm going to have to see if I can.
That is one, right? I didn't make that up.
No,
no,
there's an entertainment. Here's one. I had to refresh in order to, because it doesn't always put that up there.
Yeah.
All right, entertainment. David Bowie's Let's Dance album was released in what year?
Let's Dance.
I love that song.
It's a good
so
one,
much.
isn't it? Yeah. Oh boy.
1983.
I'm gonna.
Bingo.
Was he right?
He got it. He nailed it. So there's no use in.
I mean that's about right.
I could let you answer too.
Actually, you know what? It is right.
It could be. It might be. We'll see.
All right. Lucky guess. I mean, I was there in the head. I knew about when, but
you were there. Did you buy the record?
I was alive.
Were you?
No, I wasn't buying records.
Right. Is sports a thing?
It's not on here, I don't think.
You just gotta reach and hope. You know?
If you want me to work
Science is
some
wide
sports
open,
and
though.
stuff in, I'll look for it. But
Science is wide open.
It is. I did listen to some outer space and alien conspiracy theories on the way back from St. Louis. So
nice.
yeah. Let's go with, I don't know, history again. Actually, hang on. Give me what you've got there. Like, what are the topics that I can choose from again?
science,
Nope.
general, arts,
Yeah. Arts has not
Geography.
worked out for
I do like geography.
and another entertainment.
No. Let's go geography.
Geography it is. To which group of islands does Corfu belong?
I love that you picked that.
I was like, all right, we've narrowed it down. There's famous islands out there,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Corfu.
Corfu, yeah. I don't even know what Corfu is.
It's an island.
It's not martial arts, I can tell you that.
Man, I don't know. I'm gonna either say the Fiji Islands or the Virgin Islands
I like Fiji.
or Madagascar. That's an island.
Let's just name them all. While we're at it. No. It's the Ionian Islands.
Ionian Islands. Where are the
know
Ionian
where those are.
Islands?
That is not on the quiz.
And he doesn't provide extra
You're
context.
just wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's pass fail.
I suggest you consult Google once we're done here.
Okay.
Let's go with general.
General. What kind of food is
He's like,
Yeah.
this is unfortunate.
yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm glad you picked this one, but
Sorry.
I'm gonna struggle getting it out. So
Okay.
what kind of food is avgolamano? Avgolamano. AVGOLEMONO.
I don't have a clue.
Can you use it in a sentence?
I just did. What kind of food is that?
Do you have the origin?
Yeah, I don't know. Avogala. It's a fruit.
It sounds like a fruit to me.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Fruit. We
That's what we
guess.
said,
Oh,
fruit.
that you guessed fruit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all
I'm
we
sorry.
do here in this. subject
Yeah,
of this
yeah. We were
show
not very
is-
big.
I follow you now. It is a mixture of egg yolk, lemon juice, and broth.
Why?
That's
I know you're not. I know.
Uh,
I know.
just
but
saying.
You see that
egg yolk.
curdling?
Yeah, that's a no go for me.
All right.
All right,
Literally, I
well.
had one on here and I refreshed it. So, geography. It said, "In which state is St. Louis?"
I don't believe you.
No, literally. Why would I make that up?
Yeah. See.
Why
Do you
would I
know the
make up
answer to that
something like
question?
that? That's
Surely it's Missouri. But there is an East St. Louis. That's in
It's in
Illinois.
Illinois.
That's-
Yeah.
you got that one right.
Oh,
Ding, ding,
how about
ding.
that?
Hooray.
All right, we were 1 for 3. Oh, 2 for 4. I guess
that's right.
I'll give you batted 500.
Whatever. I think that was a joke.
All right. Well, look, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Yeah, remember you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. And listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown,
And I'm John McMahon.
and we'll see you next week.